How did I get here? That's a tough question, but I'll start with I was broke, I was frustrated, I drank way too much alcohol, just following the examples that I saw in my family my entire life. And as I approached my 30s, I kind of thought, this is it. This is as good as life gets. I'd already tried other business ventures that failed, and I was exhausted. I didn't want to go at it again and launch new businesses, but I was good at sales. So I landed a high-paying sales job in Chicago, and then I met my amazing wife, and we got married, and we had a baby, and my personal life was great. But my business and my career felt different. It felt very mediocre. And deep down, I think like most entrepreneurs, I knew that something was missing. I felt like I was capable of achieving more, but I hadn't up to that point. So in 2020, I was working a full-time sales job. I owned 3 gyms, and my wife was pregnant with our second child. And the gyms were not successful, which is why I had to keep my sales job to supplement my income. And managing all this and spinning all these plates was exhausting. And then the pandemic hit, and my gyms were completely shut down, doors closed, couldn't do business for 90 days. They were already barely hanging on, and I remember thinking to myself at that time that this is the end of me. This is how my story ends. I didn't know anything about digital marketing, and I didn't have a plan to go into digital marketing, but I did know that Facebook ads worked, at least a little bit, for my gyms. So I thought to myself, if I can get better at this, running ads, maybe I can turn things around for my gyms. So I started learning, and it worked. We got some results. I got better at it, and I actually started enjoying the business side of digital marketing, not just the results that I was seeing for my gyms. So at this point, I was pretty good, and I decided to reach out to a few other business owners that I knew, and I asked them, hey, can I help you run your meta ads and generate leads? And before I knew it, I had 14 clients. Each client was paying me around $500 a month. And at this point, I made a decision. I called up my wife and I said, I'm going to quit my decent paying, secure job. I decided to sell all the gyms at that point, and I went all in on building a digital marketing agency. Even though I had no background in marketing, I had no proof that this business model would work, and I didn't know anyone else in this industry that had made serious money or had a track record of success at that point. And then shit got crazy. From October of 2020 to January of 2021, I went from making $4,000 per month in my agency to making $100,000 per month. And it felt like a very long way from the days when my clients would pay me $500 per month. I started a real business at that point, and I was making more money than I had ever made in my entire life. And in 2023, after scaling my agency for 3 years, blood, sweat, tears, the whole thing, I sold my agency for a multi-million-dollar deal. And just like that, the ride was over. From 2020 to 2023, I made $8 million in profit. I went from a net worth of 0 to a net worth of well over $5 million. And I like to say profit because people love to throw out big revenue numbers, but you never actually know how much money they actually get to keep. So I like to talk in profit. And in just 3 years, I had built, scaled, and sold my agency. It was a crazy ride, and I'm still grateful for it every single day. But after selling, I started asking questions. I knew hundreds of other marketing agency owners, and out of all of them, I only knew one other person who successfully sold their agency for a decent amount of money. All of the others, and I mean all of them, they either went out of business or they got stuck on this endless roller coaster of making money and losing money, making money and losing money, while working insane hours without ever achieving what I had accomplished, selling their agency. Even the coaches and the gurus out there that I knew that taught people how to build agencies, they had not successfully exited an agency ever. And that moment when a multi-million-dollar wire transfer hits your account, that moment signifies that all your hard work has paid off. It's not just about the money, even though the money's cool. And almost no other agency owners ever experience it. And I wanted to understand why. Was I lucky? Why did I get to and they didn't sell their agencies? And then I realized that as agency owners, we focus so much on scaling and acquisition because those things are very important. But most don't even think about selling their agency until they're ready to sell in that moment. And then what happens is they go and find a broker. They end up getting a couple lowball offers on their agency, or maybe they even go under LOI. They go through due diligence. And then when the buyer starts poking around inside their business, they realize all the problems and the deal falls apart. I've seen this happen over and over and over again. It happens to everyone I know who's tried to sell their agency. And even if they do sell, if they make it through due diligence and everything, they take pennies on the dollar just to get the deal done because they're so exhausted from deal fatigue. There are several coaches out there who will show you how to run ads. They'll show you how to close deals. They'll even show you how to scale your agency a bit. But there is nothing out there, and I mean nothing. There's no program, there's no coach for agencies that actually helps you build an agency from scratch, scale it to multi-millions, turn it into a real asset with enterprise value so that when the time comes, you don't just sell it for pennies on the dollar, you sell it for millions of dollars. And that's the missing piece. So I saw an opportunity, not just for myself, but to actually help other agency owners because this is a great business model. You can make a lot of money, but if your agency crumbles and falls apart and you're unable to ever sell it, there is no happy ending. There's no great story for you to tell. And exiting your agency for millions allows you to level up into whatever your next business venture is going to be. So I created something for you that I wish existed when I was building my agency. I created a playbook that is not just theory, that is not just coaching, but the exact same process that I used inside my agency to launch, scale, and exit. And I broke it down into 3 levels. And the first level is launch. And this is for beginners who want to start an agency and scale it to $10,000 per month consistently. And the next level is scale. And this is for agency owners that are already well beyond the $10,000 per month mark who want to hit 6 figures monthly and go from a freelancer to a real business. And then we have endgame for agency owners who are already doing over $1 million annually, who want to build their enterprise value and exit their agency for millions of dollars. And inside, I cover everything from basic things like choosing the right niche, to structuring irresistible agency offers, to generating leads, to running ads, to signing clients, to delivering results for those clients, to scaling out your operations, to increasing the enterprise value of your agency, and finally, exiting for millions of dollars. And I'm not asking you to take my word for it here. You shouldn't. I put everything together in a program, all my experience, everything that I use inside my agency for less than a fancy dinner costs you, and less than all the mindless entertainment that we waste money on that provides no ROI at all in our life. Because I don't just want to prove myself. I want you to experience life-changing amounts of money that I experienced, financial freedom for you or for your family, and the satisfaction of seeing all your hard work, all your blood, sweat, tears eventually pay off. And only then, after I've proven that what I teach you, what I show you, what I give you actually works, if you are interested in working with me directly or joining my community or even partnering with me under Limitless Capital, which is my private equity firm, then we can have a conversation. Starting a digital marketing agency changed my entire life. I made more money than I ever thought was possible, which was amazing, but it still wasn't as great as the day I sold my agency. And yes, On that day, I watched millions of dollars transferred into my bank account in one day. But selling my agency proved to me that all the hard work, all the years of failure was worth it. And now my mission is to create 100 digital marketing millionaires by 2026. Will you be one of them?